We're getting ready. One of those two great players will be eliminated, unfortunately. WFZ has a German wife. He's actually visiting Germany from time to time. So the Chinese call him the German. So maybe some time for us Germans and undead players both to root for the undead here. But of course we will not be biased. We like Yumiko as well. Here we have him, the German undead, WFZ. In the bottom right is the red undead, his opponent, NWL winner Yumiko, who just lost to Fly 1-2. But of course he wants to be in the playoffs so bad. He wants this Frostmourne. And here we have him, upper left, blue colors, Yumiko.
And I wonder, this matchup has been set in stone for the most part for a long time. Human fast expands, undead tries to crush the Expo, or maybe tries to creep the entire map and then counter expand very late. But Yumiko, we've seen some variation from him just a few minutes ago against Fly, going without a barracks. Of course, going without a barracks is not really a possibility against undead, but maybe he has a special idea here, or is he gonna go for the standard kind of game? Yesterday, we saw the two of them play as well, and Ancient Isles was actually the map that WFZ won, with the Dark Rangers second. You think this is gonna be the choice again?
It worked really, really well yesterday, so I can imagine him doing that, but maybe he just doesn't want to do it because he expects to have Yumiko to have a reaction to that by now. I meant they have like 24 hours to think about it. They spend a lot of time together, so they might not have a partner to talk about this. Because of course you want to hide your strategies from your opponents, but Yumiko is not a robotic player. He knows what he does. He thinks a lot about his game, so maybe WFZ might be a little afraid that Yumiko has a perfect answer to this and is not going for it, but it's a 50-50 choice, I guess.
Yeah, I think the same way. I think WZ might not be going for it because, well, it has been revealed. It's not a big surprise anymore. But Yumiko, I guess he's going to go for a fast expo, and I could definitely see him going for two Arcane Towers right away, because the Dark Ranger did pose such a big threat to him last time. Losing a Peasant here, by the way, to creeps, that's not a good way to start off the beginning of the game, but he doesn't give up any of the creeps. He did it right, he did it quickly, and the DK does not get a last hit with the Frostmourne, with the Death Coil.
One thing we have to mention is that Yumiko is a player who relies on his mental state. If he's in a good mood or he feels confident, he can play like the best player in the world. If he's feeling down, then he struggles heavily. And after a loss against 120, I can see him not being in the best mood of all time. So maybe that will influence his gameplay.
That's true. He is one of the players that they call emotional. He's gonna get a little bit of experience here in the middle of the map from the Knolls. He's not gonna be granted the Warden though. Yumiko knows about this a little bit of creeping, so the DK would have loved to get very, very close to level 2, but no cigar. Yumiko is here on the case and is gonna prevent this, and yeah, this is what we're expecting, what we're used to seeing. It's gonna be the fast expansion with, is it gonna be 8 peasants again? Yep. This is exactly the same strategy we saw yesterday. 8 peasant expansion, so even if you lose a few, it's not that terrible. In the Undead's base, we see he's taking to tier 2, and again going for the double ziggurat, which looked like a macro mistake yesterday, but maybe it's intentional. But this is going to delay his second Fiend. He only has 1, and so far, he's not really able to do too much damage at all.
Here he comes, the Death Knight again, 2 more coils, but the Archmage with the claws, of course, providing great damage. He steals the Null, and he's getting closer to level 2, but in the meantime, Yumiko is losing 1 peasant. Here comes the first Fiend to do additional damage. Not too many skeletons here to provide something. The Death Knight is super duper low, so he can't really dive in to get a coil on the Null. Overseer, so it's a safe spot for Yumiko at the moment.
Oh, he has the boots. He's gonna force the TP or get the kill here.
It's still level 1, so he could afford it, especially if he's going for a Dark Ranger, because otherwise the Death Knight will occupy the altar, of course. But he's town portaling, and statues are quite far away. Maybe he has to buy a potion. He has 300 gold, so he doesn't really want to do that.
And superpower build on the Scout Tower. maybe thinking about the Dark Ranger possibility. Not 2 towers though, only 1 is gonna be sufficient. Yumiko almost level 3, he gave up a bit of experience, by the way, finding the Panel of Energy, of course, very nice, especially for whatever second hero he chooses. But WFZ heading towards the tavern, we've seen this before.
Will he get the Dark Ranger? That's the big question here. He has the gold, and there she is! Yumiko, maybe not expecting this. We are about to see that. No staff on the Archmage. He's going into the undead base, scouting a bit. He sees, alright, no immediate tier 3 tech. And he scouts the altar, I guess. He wants to know, okay, is this a Lich? Or is he going to the tavern again? And by now he knows it's a tavern build. Arcane Tower is not finished. We see the first 2 peasants dead. Dark Arrow hits it, so more skeletons, and the snowball is on the way.
This is like yesterday. The Archmage was also heading towards the undead main, not accomplishing much at all. Just scouting, but why don't you scout with a footman? I don't get it. Now he's lost 2 footmen, 3 peasants, and by the looks of it, it's gonna be more. And only now the first hero arrives. DK has a potion on him and has level 2 now as well. But this Dark Ranger, I feel, should have been anticipated and should have been dealt with better.
Yeah, at least get a second Arcane Tower for that. That was your solution. I totally agree with that. 1.5 levels on the Dark Ranger already. She's doing a great job trying to get rid of the skeletons. The Arcane Tower is shooting at the Dark Ranger. I don't know if that's the right choice because all the skeletons are providing so much damage. Arcane Tower is down. Now low HP on the lady in black and red. Coil saves her from being killed. And 3-4 fiends together with all the skeletons. That's a nice early mid game for WFZ.
And the thing is, with the Arcane Tower being down, if you can cancel the upcoming towers over and over, which might be possible with 4 Fiends, this poses a lot of danger to Yumiko. Once again, seems to me he didn't protect his expansion well enough. He didn't camp it well enough with the Archmage in anticipation of this. And now he might be receiving the bitter bill as the pressure continues on going. It's only gonna get worse because statues are inbound. The sustain is gonna be here soon. He needs to get up towers and get him up fast because he cannot muster a good army on tier 1 against the Dark Ranger.
So he gets additional experience with the water elementals. Oh, that one expires actually. So very, very close to level 2. And my stream shuts down here, so the player camera is gone. So I'd love you to cover for a second.
Yumiko tried to go for a few Fiend kills here, Fiend surrounds. They were out of position, but uncharacteristically, for the first time in a long time, Yumiko failing with the surrounds. The one thing he has been looking so great with. Maybe the nerves really are getting to him. Maybe that loss against Fly kind of shook him. Again, the Undead is trying to go for the tower cancellation, but mass repair is just barely going to be able to keep those towers up, and that is absolutely crucial. Because the skeletons are such a big threat, and also the fiends. He of course doesn't want to have them to have free reign over the peasant line. So the repairs from Yumiko are still spot on. He is very, very quick with the reflexes. Now finally, I think, defend just finished. But there's not only the fiends here to worry about, it is the Dark Ranger as well. It is the skeletons as well, possibly.
True. The backup plan for WFZ is a destroyer push. He's going to tier 3, has the slaughterhouse ready. No catapult just yet, no meat wagon. On the other side, Yumiko just more defend footmen. And that's hard to kill, but with the Dark Ranger he has decent damage on the field. And a lot of sustain thanks to the statues, as you mentioned. Slight spikes here, but it's not the stream, it is the connection to China. Even with What the Fast, some spikes are unavoidable. He gets the kill finally, and level 2 on the Dark Ranger.
And with his army, just a few fiends and the statues and the Dark Ranger, this is a very fearsome army from the Undead. If the human is only on tier 1, Yumiko tries to engage this further. Now 2 footmen have fallen, only 5 remaining, 2 of them very hurt. Now the towers have to carry him, but at the moment, it's only 1 real tower, only 1 guard tower. He has to buy more time for these towers if he wants to secure his expansion, and he wants to bait that time out of his opponent with a footman. He might lose him, but as long as they buy time, it's worth it, and it seems like for the time being, they're going to be able to achieve this.
Yeah, 1 footman dying after another, but oh, now that's a big spike. No level 3 on the Death Knight yet, and Yumiko is doing a great job keeping WFZ busy. We see the tier 3 tech is done, Destroyer upgrade almost finished already, and the Lich is coming with the orb. Then things get a lot easier for WFZ. What is Yumiko's answer to this. Not even on tier 2 yet. A lot of towers in the main base. He saw it yesterday. If he's just defending his expansion, WFZ will go to the main base and crush the economy there.
It's 4 guard towers though. That's not the best number against destroyers, but with quick repair, it's tough to say. I think it should be enough. Lich now coming in, of course, and the Nova adds another element to this battle. And also the Dark Arrows, if he micros intensively against the peasants. One peasant already dead, second one dead as well. Third one seems to be very exposed as well, and will fall also. So he's getting rid of the peasants before he goes for the tower push. I like this play, getting rid of the repair as much as he can, but Yumiko does not want to defend anymore. He's gonna attack the UD undead base here himself. A destroyer scouts this though, and with the DK coming in there as well, I feel WFZ is more than well enough equipped to deal with this.
Yeah, very nice reactions from the undead. The destroyer, of course, there to dispel the water elemental of the Death Knight for some damage and coils if necessary. In the meantime, Lich, Dark Ranger, Fiends and statues pressuring the expansion. The undead is playing this really, really well. But does Yumiko buy enough time? That's the question. Gets the next footman and getting closer to level 3. Level 2 coil, of course, is what he wants. The investment into the footman is a lot, actually. That delays his tech. He's going for tier 3 now, getting the blacksmith, getting the Mountain King. But is it too late?
He still has a lot of time, because the expansion is not being pressured by meat wagons. Yesterday we saw 2 meat wagons with Disease Cloud adding to the undead army. But this time he doesn't go for it. It's only statues and fiends. So he has a lot more time to easily, well, not very easily, but more easily defend this expansion. But yeah, you're right, the footmen, they tried to achieve some sort of harassment, but so far nothing of the sort has been able to be done by them. The DK now though joining the main army again, so this now does expose the main base. There are 2 spirit towers here, but of course there is defend. But Yumiko, he doesn't seem sure of what to do. Do I want to commit to the harass? Do I not? Seems like he wants to figure out if he might be needed for defense at his expansion. Oh, and here comes the destroyer push.
Yeah, 3 destroyers high up in the air. They go for the arcane tower. It's gone immediately, but he has to get them away. First Stormbolt on the Fiend. This one's gonna go down, but no experience since the towers killed them. He's so afraid of a hero kill that he bought 2 potions for him, still destroyer with mana, and he, oh, nice Nova into everything. That finally results in level 3 for the Death Knight, and that is a slaughter at the expansion here. What can Yumiko accomplish in the meantime?
2 destroyers are here to defend against this harass, and that should be enough, but the shop is down. I think the undead has to rebuild the shop very quickly to keep on reinforcing with more statues. Now Yumi is TPing to his expansion to defend, but the undead should have the way upper hand in this attack. Yeah, only footmen remaining, of course, against fiends and triple hero with an orb and destroyers. That's not going to be able to do anything. Now the rest of the destroyers join the main army. We now have 3. Of course, the mana is gone for the most part, but we still have 5 guard towers, so Yumi holds. He takes a lot of damage, but he holds.
True that. Tier 3 is finished. Mountain King is coming back. He died to Nova, I suppose, and the shots of the Fiends. The Chinese were not catching it as well, so I tried to look it up how that happens, but I was disappointed by the camera work of the Chinese as well. So things got a lot easier for Yumiko now. With tier 3, he gets the flak cannon upgrade for the gyrocopters, and then he has some anti-air. But he has no answer to the Fiends just yet. No Knight coming out. And that's gonna be hard for him. In the meantime, of course, 2 destroyers still chasing the footmen, still getting additional experience, and still trying to knock down the towers here. Masonry upgrade is only level 2. Lich levels up to level 2, and the Dark Ranger will be level 3 in a short while. Another tower down.
And now he's really brave here in between the towers. Might there be a peasants around onto the DK? No. Lich dropping low but being healed up with the call. Destroyers in the meantime always scouting. They are no longer attacking the towers. They are following the human army. And he has also seen the gyros already. So there should be web. Actually, it's coming right now. He sees the gyros in the main, has to retreat with the destroyers. Otherwise, they fall, and he reacts quickly enough. But still, 4 towers alive, but only 2 peasants, man. He has ravaged the economy.
Indeed, it's looking like carnage here at the Expo, and this is a great game by the former best undead in the world. But 2016 seems to be A good year for WFZ. Can he eliminate the NWL winner? Here comes the gyrocopters. Web is available. Nicely reacted by WFZ here. How many can he take out?
The thing is, you only engage this with a maximum of 10 gyros. It's only like 10 supplies, so the destroyers are having a decent time dealing with this. But Yumiko, it seems like he feels the pressure. He has to defend. He may not have what he wants, but he has to defend right now. Otherwise, he loses everything. He's killing a few fiends. He's gonna get the first destroyer here right now. That's level 4 for the Archmage. DK surrounded. There's no TP. If he gets this kill, that would be massive. Invul transferred though from the Lich, and he uses it. Now the MK in trouble. Nova hitting him. Level 1 MK will fall. He's easily going to be able to fight out of the surround, and this provides more and more skeletons. But all the destroyers have finally fallen. Might this be the turning point? But again, Yumiko holds, yes, but with massive losses.
Indeed. Losing the Mountain King on level 1 seems to be not the biggest of deals because the level is so low, but you really want him on level 3, and that's why he needs to be on the battlefield. Paladin is there now to support, level up for the Death Knight, and look at all the skeletons, man. How many units did he kill? All the militia dead, and now the gyrocopters have no value at all. I mean, they can't attack anything basically since there are no destroyers on the field, and this push is gonna hit Yumiko so hard again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skeletons.
But the guard tower's in a good position. It's hard to take him out. They're way back there. The fiends cannot reach easily, and he's focusing the fiends with the guard towers, knowing that the skeletons will die fairly easily anyways. But now the first A-bomb is here. We have barely any army for Yumiko. Only 3 heroes, not a single unit, but he's still fighting valiantly. Immediately going for the DK again, who does have the Death Pact, however. Interesting choice to still go for the first hero. Devouring a fiend will easily be able to pump him up to full HP again. He's trying to chew through these towers at the Expo, but might he be breaking his jaw here because he's been attacking for so long, but it's not falling.
Not yet, to say the least. There's no reinforcements coming for WFZ at the moment. He's at 51 food, which is of course not the best of deals. Yumiko at 45, 45, so he doesn't get to pay taxes. Now he's focusing on units again, saving that fiend with a coil, and the statue arrives to provide some more healing. Yumiko is chased away. The Mountain King is in trouble. Nova coil shoots, and the Mountain King dies for the 3rd time in this game. Holy Light arrives too late. No potion on him. No staff for Yumiko.
He's of course really strapped for cash this game. Yumiko has to spend all of his resources all the time to keep his expansion alive. Now, I think for the first time, he's heading into upkeep. Actually, before, when the attack was happening with the gyros, I think there he was in upkeep as well. But still, no bank to speak of. 54 supply and kind of broke for a player with an Expo. By the way, on the undead side, he lost quite a few ghouls before, so now he has severe lumber issues. He's getting new ghouls, but this delays his production significantly, and now knights are starting to come out. And with there being no destroyers, these knights are going to be extremely strong. Once they reach a decent number, but that's gonna take a while. And tanks are inbound as well.
Oh, he needs to get some time. He needs to buy some time, and that is of course the best possibility to do so, because the undead will have to defend this. Now the knights are streaming in. The first call saves the fiend. He kinda has to kite. The Nova seems to be on cooldown. Oh no, he uses it here. So now he can fight. There's the staff now. Gyros are coming in, but there's no destroyer, so they get away. You can focus down knights with Nova, Orb of Corruption, and the fiend shots, but it's hard. He's tanking a lot of damage on the air bomb, but the Mountain King as well has a problem! Oh, Holy Light with a short animation, greater death coil.
Alright, the Expo suffering all the time, as it has this entire game, but tanks only seconds away from the main. Only 2 though. It is not insurmountable. Maybe he can defend this with repair, with ghouls, and with towers, because he really does not want to leave this base. And I think it has finally happened. All the peasants are dead, no more repair, and I think it's just in time. It looks like he's going to be able to take out the base and TP home for defense.
Oh, can he get the damage out without taking too many casualties? He's focusing on the army. Silence on the units. Nice, Burrow. Just in time. Mountain King has problems. Again, Holy Light. He's really heavily focusing on this little dwarven fella. Mass militia is coming in. Nice coil. Nice, Burrow. Nope. Towers kill the Fiend. Now the Death Knight has problems. No town portal again. There is Death Pack, but will he sacrifice the Fiend? Holy Light on a unit. And the Death Knight is down. Does he give this game out of hand here?
Oh my god, I think he just made a huge mistake, a massive mistake. Now the Lich in trouble as well. Yumiko, he failed a few surrounds early on, but now when it counts, he gets him. He got the first hero, and by the looks of it, he's gonna get the second hero as well. It takes some time, but in the end, does he get it? Yes, he gets it. Finally, level 2 for the MK, and the Undead has to tuck tail and run. The tanks, they have been gotten rid of, but the two most important parts of his army, the Lich and the DK, are gone. And even though Yumiko has so little to play with, his heroes seem to be doing the job. But the massive mistake I was talking about, I think he should have ignored the army, take out the Expo, and TP home. But hold that thought. He didn't have a TP.
There was no town portal. Exactly. And now the tanks are in the base without Orb of Corruption. How are you supposed to defend this? It's fortified armor. You're not supposed to defend this. GG by WFZ. It looked so well throughout the entire game.
Wow.
And then there was one mistake.
This is really reminiscent of Twisted Meadows yesterday, where Yumiko was also against the ropes for such a long time, but he just barely is able to scratch out the win in the end. Pretty impressive by Yumi, and also WFZ playing really, really well, just a few small mistakes. He had money for the TP. I think he should have killed the Expo. There was a point when there were no peasants alive anymore. Ignore the army, kill the Expo, TP home, and of course before you have to buy the TP. But still, that is a lot to ask for. That he basically made no mistakes that game, apart from maybe that. He almost won it. But Yumiko, he just seems to know how to stay in the game and how to take it in the end.
So much patience. It's kind of reminiscent of Infi. Of course, Yumiko does not want to hear a comparison to Infi, obviously. But it seems to be the deal. He knew exactly, okay, I have to go in there. I know what to focus. He did. It worked well. So you can't call Human Imba now again, of course, because 90% of the action was due to the undead. But playing this defense so well and not finishing the job as the undead, of course, is a problem as well. As
I think mentioned. Also not getting catapults,
yeah.
Meat wagons.
Yeah.
May have been a mistake. I don't think you have to commit as hard with double meat wagon and the disease cloud. If he had just gotten one meat wagon, that would have made a huge difference. Like, the siege damage coming out from that one unit would have accelerated the damage so much. And he had absolute map control for such a long time. I think he could have easily been able to defend this one wagon, had he decided to go for it.
That DK death, man. Every time the undead loses his Death Knight, it's the end for the undead. He killed the Mountain King 3 times, so he wasn't at level 3, so he doesn't have to fear the level 2 Stormbolt, but in the end it was this one stun that made the surround at the trees happen, and that was the end for the Death Knight, and that was the end for the undead in general. The next map, Remo, is Amazonia.
Yes, it is. Can be hard to defend this expansion, but if you get it, it's gonna provide a lot of income for you. There's 20,000 gold in this gold mine, so you cannot really hope to starve out the human over time, because the Expo is just gonna keep on giving gold and gold and gold. We saw an incredible game by this player right here, by WFZ against TH at WCA 2014, maybe the best game of the tournament, where he counter-expanded late into the game and managed to just barely take the win in the end. Is he going to go for that again? Pressure into a counter expansion? Because I think going for a Dark Ranger here, is that maybe a possibility? I don't know. The games look very good for him when he goes for the Dark Ranger, but that's also one thing that maybe Yumiko made slight mistakes. When there's a map where Dark Ranger is a possibility, I think he should defend better. We have to think back to this game. When he just had his Expo up, he took so much damage from the DR, more than should have happened.
True that. True that. Everybody is ready here. The game is about to start. Expansion. It's a good question here. If he's going for the counter expansion. I mean, there's so much time when you pressure the human expansion. There's basically nothing the human can do to attack your expo. But the thing is that the creep spot on Amazonia is so hard to take that you can't really take it because you have to apply pressure to the gold mine of Yumiko, and you can't do two things at the same time. So
Exactly. In this matchup, it's like your DK, once he leaves the altar, ideally, he pressures the human all the time. Like, he never stops. He's at the human army, at the human expansion all the time. He's getting joined by fiends, by lich, by statues, by destroyers, but he's supposed to be there all the time, unless, of course, you get counter-harassed in your main. So finding the time to counter-expand yourself and without giving too much space to your opponent is really hard.
I think I have the NetEase bug here, by the way. It's not loading for me.
Sometimes it takes a little while.
Yeah, it's working. Nice. Alright. Who will continue to claim the frozen throne in Shanghai? Yumiko has match points. He could join the likes of Moon, Shishi, Infi, TH, and Fly. WFZ needs 2 maps, and I think Melting Valley is still in the pool. Amazonia is it first. Will it be a 2-0, or will we see the grudge match between those two? 1-0 lead for the human in blue. It is Yumiko spawning in the bottom left. His opponent, once again, WFZ, in the upper right.
Okie dokie. Back then, also, WCA 2014, WFZ had some really sneaky creep routes here. Back then, he went for creeping in the middle of the map, only with skeletons. He was going for the kobolds with the medium armor, the ones that bash you to death, but he was doing it very well. He was getting a lot of experience from that, and then maybe even with level 2, heading for the expansion harass, and every now and then finding a lot of damage to deal. Of course, expansion not necessarily gonna be the case, but Chinese humans against undeads, probably 99.999% it's gonna be the fast expansion.
Yeah, I'd agree, especially when the Chinese is human. I think all the humans do it against undead. Maybe the European humans are vetoing this map kinda to a point sometimes if they have more than one veto, but since they all figured out how to creep here, since they all figured out how to set up the buildings in front of things, it's all gonna be good. Archmage first, no Mountain King shenanigans here from Yumiko. He's playing this as serious as one can be. Looking kinda angry, to be honest. But yeah, he's in a decent situation here, definitely.
And yeah, this could be his last map of the tournament. And apart from Amazonia, it didn't really seem like he had... That's not true, actually. On Twisted Meadows, he also almost took the win. But on Amazonia, there is easy Goblin Lab support for the humans, so Scan can be used, Zeppelin can be used, Shredder can be used, and Shredder is actually a big deal, because that accelerates his tech by a lot. That is not possible on Ancient Isles, for example, not possible on a lot of maps. And the DK actually heading for instant aggression. He's not going to go for creeping himself. Going on to the Archmage, actually, which is an interesting choice.
We saw that from Shun versus Infi on Monday, I guess, and that worked really, really well. He used a lot of coils offensively to weaken the Archmage, so he was in constant pressure. At the same time, I think he cancelled the shop over and over, so there was no healing for him. And maybe he talked with Shun, maybe he saw the game and analyzed the replay and said, okay, this is the way to go on Amazonia.
Of course, there's going to be no Merc Camp support here if Yumiko goes for the expansion, which is highly, highly likely. And if the Archmage eats the stun from the Rock Golem and then follow-up damage from the Undead, he is under a lot of pressure. He might even be trying to get the boots against this, but that would take a lot of time, because usually now is the time when the human heads out for the expo. But for now, he's being run around the map a little bit by WFZ.
True that, and that costs some valuable time to get the expansion up. The later he starts the creep, the later he gets the expo up, the better it is, of course, for the undead, because the destroyer or catapult push is gonna hit him a lot harder, since the tech will always be delayed if you get the expansion up late. Yumiko is not attacking here. He calls for a massive number of militia again.
Yeah, that's 9 right there, and he already lost one, so that was 10 militia. Very expensive, gonna delay his tech by a lot. And here comes the fight, and immediately, the creep, he eats the boulder from the rock golem, and he's kind of low on the archmage, so retreats into the back, knowing about the potential threat of the damage coming out from the undead. He steals one of the trappers here nicely with a coil. Of course, he's desperately looking for experience. Also killed one of the peasants, but that's why there's so many here. Even if he loses a few... Oh, is he going to run into a surround on the DK? No, but he finds more pickoffs. Only a little more until level 2 for the DK. Still healthy. On Amazonia, he gave up a lot of hit points on his first hero, but here, still pretty green.
On Ancient Isles, you mean, obviously. That is the big invul potion on the Archmage and the Claw. So once again, good item drops for Yumi and level 3 on top of things. 6 footmen to defend this. He's spreading them all over. You were mentioning the Shredder beforehand, and I wanted to add something to it, because it's not only good for the lumber, obviously, but the right clicks of the Shredder are dealing so much damage to fiends. As long as there's no Lich with Orb of Corruption, he's also a great weapon to defend your Expo. But yeah, tier 2 is finished. We don't see a Lich. There it is. There's the Lich. No Dark Ranger. He wants to play this normally.
Look how he's spreading out his footmen. This time he's more careful. This time he doesn't want to take as much damage. But again, the Archmage heading for the main. Interesting. He has been doing this so much, and it never seems to achieve, like, too much.
True. I don't know why he's doing that. We have to ask him. Maybe we can ask Ugrilainen later to tell us about this, or maybe to ask Yumiko about this. Still no level 2 on the Death Knight. No healing from the aura, of course. No immediate level 3 attack. He's gathering resources. He needs a little more gold, and then he can start it. Or will he go for the catapults this game? That's the choice the undeads have.
And right now, WZ retreating to his main base. If there is defend, he may have to deal with some harassment towards the Acolytes, and defend is finishing in just a few seconds. And 6 footmen are already in position, and there's gonna be coming more. Lich out now, though. With the Lich coming, he might be going onto the offensive himself once more, hitting level 2 on the DK in just a second here. And then it might be go time. 4 Fiends, tier 3 tech not just started. WFZ seems to really like to delay this. Delays the destroyers, but of course makes him stronger on tier 2. And Yumiko waiting for the undead to arrive. He's creeping next to his main. He doesn't want to harass. And next to his expo.
Yeah. And yeah, I think Yumiko did a good job chasing WFZ around the map a bit and delay the damage that is coming in. So Yumiko is playing a lot better, I think, than on Ancient Isles, where he faced the Dark Ranger and constant pressure. You see, double lumber mill again to fortify this situation. If both come through, then it's going to be so hard for the Fiends to get access to the peasant line, to the towers, to basically everything. So WFZ cannot allow this.
It's becoming daytime in a second, by the way. Maybe WZ can find an opening to drop into the main via Zeppelin, but there's already a farm coming up for Yumiko at the lab. So if the undead goes there, he's probably going to steal the Zeppelin. For now, the footmen are holding, and they're doing a decent job. A few die here and there, but yeah, that's kind of what they're supposed to do. Buy time, even if you die, it doesn't matter. And yeah, the double lumber mill. These towers will never be reached by the Fiends. It's basically impossible. So breaking this expo with Fiends is no longer an option. He has to rely on the destroyers, and for that, of course, tier 3 is necessary. It's being upgraded right now, so are 2 spirit towers, but defend footmen usually don't care too much about piercing damage.
True that. Water Elemental has been summoned. No destroyers, obviously, since the tech is so far away. Fiends and Lich switching to the main base, but what can they accomplish here? Not too much. Zeppelin for Yumiko. The drop is coming, only with the footmen though. The ghouls are getting ready. There is, as you mentioned, 2 towers here for him, so he can get rid of the water elementals easily. But how much damage can the footman do? At the moment, he does not want to drop.
Also in the main base of Yumiko, well done. The towers are way in the back, so the Fiends cannot reach from outside the base. That's exactly the way you're supposed to do it. He gets rid of a farm now, and the second one will probably fall soon as well, but he's blocking off the main again with another farm. So Yumiko's stall tactics for the time being seem to be working really, really well.
Yeah, I think he got that one from the FFA players. At least the lumber mill thing is known for FFA players for years, I guess. And yeah, he stole that, and you see the effect, man. Not a single point of damage has been dealt to a single peasant or a building here at the expo. It's crazy.
Yeah, committing to that would just absolutely not be worth it, but leaves the main maybe a little bit exposed, and actually he finds an angle to take out one of the towers. But it's only one. We're gonna have 5 here, 4 guard towers, 1 arcane towers regardless, before the destroyers can ever hit, and now he's already suffering a lot of damage on the statue. Now the Archmage though in trouble, Coil Nova hitting him, but he has the boots of speed, quick enough to get away, and also the invul if things get too dicey. But this game seems like Yumiko, I feel, is in total control.
Yeah, he's playing this very, very dominantly. Can always fall back into some safe spots. Never really been exposed to a threat. Maybe now the Death Knight can do something, but of course there's a Zeppelin and he can pack up all the footmen, get away. So the Death Knight is still so far away, half a level away from level 3, and that was Shun made so great. Using so many calls offensively to get to a level 3 with your second hero. So when you're level 3, you get joined by your second hero, and then you have a lot more value from all the spells you cast. But yeah, T3 tech from Yumiko, he cannot get past this farm, mass repair, the towers are shooting at some units here, so...
This is the wall of China. It seems very, very unbreakable. Yumiko is taking to tier 3 without any concern. Look at this. The MK is only coming now. He's like, yeah, I can take to tier 3. Second hero? Nah, I don't need it yet. I can go get it later. And it seems like he's right. He's losing the second peasant now. This is only the second peasant, and the Lich has been in the main for, I don't know, 4 minutes now. Alright, he has lost 3. Alright, point given. But this is not enough damage. This is not enough damage. Yumiko already sitting at more than 1,000 gold, getting more masonry upgrades. And the Archmage is finding space to creep out on the map, and his base is still pretty secure.
What do you think about zappers here?
Not a good idea.
Why not?
You mean for the human or for the undead?
For the undead, of course.
Well, masonry makes it very cost ineffective first of all, and maybe you can get the altar, but the altar is going to be rebuilt. Maybe you can get the farms, but that doesn't matter, and there's no way you're going to get to the towers.
Okie dokie. The Mountain King is out and safe, so not even that pickup is granted to the undead. He bleeds him dry. He can hide behind this expansion for years with 16,000. He's even fortifying it further with 2 workshops, and then we have the Night Gyrocopter combo again. Now 4 destroyers. What can he accomplish?
The towers are break the base right here, otherwise it's gonna look very hard for him.
Yeah, the towers are very close to each other, so oh, nice with a Nova, nice synergy here. So he can get rid of a lot, but here comes the human army. For now, it's just the Archmage, the heal scroll being used. Very nice, saving all the peasants. The correct answer to this push from Yumiko again.
He got 2 arcade towers made, but he's losing fiends right now. They're surrounded. Frost armor is not going to be enough. Well, maybe the coil is level 3 now for the DK. That's a lot more healing. Is this going to help WFZ? But he's only at 52 supply. He would like to have much more. And then most of the towers are still standing. Now the DK exposing himself to a surround. Here comes the bolt. Where is the surround? Not just yet going for it, but destroyers are being lost in the meantime. MK might fall. Isn't actually, because the invul keeps him alive, but he's still only level 1, remember. And the most important thing, the tower's still up.
Indeed, the Death Knight is trapped in the base now. Is there another Stormbolt? Yes, there is! And this might be the demise for WFZ. There it is! He's even using the Town Portal to save this Mountain King, and he succeeds with it! Okay. Heal scroll! Holy shit, Yumiko is pulling all the right strings.
Yeah, man, this game, he's just playing it to perfection. He is absolutely in control. The DK tried to coil the Archmage, kill him by doing so, and then TP out, but he was gambling for more than he could afford, and he lost his life. The Lich is still here, I guess, with the Fiends and the Destroyers, but it's not a huge army, and now the Gyros are coming in.
First destroyer down immediately. There is web, but not a good amount of fiends, so the Gyros will reign supreme after a short amount of time. Death Knight is back on the battlefield. He bought him from the tavern. Huge investment for WFZ, but of course his tournament life is on the line. He does not want to give this up. If there's the smallest opportunity, he wants the option to seize it, but now the Paladin is coming. The Mountain King is not dead. The Lich comes in with a Nova, but he might be trapped. This is the farm. The farm. What's that for a farm? And the Lich is dead.
Man, Yumiko just styling all over WFZ this game. He may have lost his hero, yeah, but whatever. It was a level 1 hero. Trading it for a level 3 hero any day of the week. WFZ is still hanging around, but I got a feeling the tanks are going to be coming soon because it looks like Yumiko is in control of his main base. He's not going to lose that main. The towers are just too well positioned, too good in number, too well defended by everything he's been doing this game. But there's always the possibility of suddenly 5-6 destroyers with mana surprisingly killing all your towers. But that's why the Gyros are here. And I guess he's playing it safe. He doesn't want to go for the harass with the tanks. He wants to have Gyros in case there is an overwhelming amount of destroyers.
And here he sees them again. Flag cannon upgrade, area of effect, but it's not really necessary since there's only one destroyer in the air. Gets called, gets saved, but the knights are streaming out now. Yumiko seems to want to end this game right here, right now. Triple hero back on the battlefield. 2 storm bolts for the Mountain King using the first one. And this will be enough to kill this fiend if the block is correct. Yes, he's surrounding him. Of course he is. Losing a few gyros.
Nice for units around with the summoning of the Water Elemental. Yumiko, this game, he's really swagging, man. He's really swagging.
He killed the destroyer as well, by the way.
Yeah, these gyros, so fast, not enough web. 46 supply only for WFZ. And now Yumiko has everything online he wants. He has tier 3, he has lots of masonry, he has workshops. Now he's going into upkeep, and tanks are coming as well.
Once again, tanks and the upgrade for the gyrocopter so they are able to attack land units or ground units. Abominations are coming for WFZ, but I don't know. He gets level 4 here for Death Pack, which will be helpful against the nuke of the human. But for how long is the question. No third hero, by the way. No Dark Ranger, no nothing. And Yumiko is just enjoying this time here on AZ. It's raining, yeah, but let's stay a little longer. Even the tanks are joining the army now, and he will prepare everything for one big blow, I guess, and end the tournament life of WFZ.
We can't fault WFZ for staying in this, again, as you said. Tournament life on the line, and if there's even the slimmest chance, Yumiko managed to win some games that it looked like he really wasn't supposed to. Now, for the first time in open battlefield, Yumiko is gonna engage in a real fight. Can maybe WFZ win this? Doesn't seem like he thinks so, as he's TPing out and gonna lose a fiend in time. Nope, will be saved.
He sees the tanks now. He got the sacrificial skull, but he sees the tanks and he taps out. WFZ, the undead, is out. Yumiko reaching the playoffs, the round of 8, together with Fly, Infi, TH, and Moon and Shishi. Of course, both players are best friends, and what a pity it is that they have to eliminate each other. They're talking about things. Hard to watch a bit, standing in the dark. But I think the year is still pretty young for WFZ. His shape is growing and growing and growing and growing, getting better every day, basically. And it's a good year for him to come. Yumiko is in the playoffs, and well-deservedly so.
Yep, Yumiko, one of the other favorites, joining the ranks of the playoffs. I feel we haven't really have an upset yet here in the GCS, have we? Group A, Moon and Hihi, the favorites coming through. Now we just figured out the players of Group B, which is Fly and Yumiko, also the favorites. Infi and TH, obviously the favorites of their group. Tomorrow is gonna be Lin and Foggy and 120 and Lucifer.
Yes.
Of course, the favorites there are 120 and Lin. Lucifer, is he gonna be up for a surprise? I'm not sure. Foggy, is he gonna be up for a surprise? I would love to see it, but I feel the favorites have a big advantage heading into this as well.
Indeed, we have the 2 WCA champions here from Korea and China. It's gonna be so hard, but are they aware of the special tactics? Are they aware of Hippogriff Riders? Are they aware of Mass Fury Dragons? We don't know about that. So we have a break now here. The 2-on-2 will be played later. They have a show match of some RPG games. Between fans and players or something. So the 2-on-2 will be later, but we will cover this with our reporter live in Shanghai. We will call Ugrilainen, who lives in China, is at the studio right now. We will interview him right after a short break here at Back to Warcraft. Exclusive content!